Liling, another alleged chemical weapons attack, another emergency Security Council meeting. What did council members hope to achieve?
Well, it depends on which council member, Mike. Russia was the first to request this emergency meeting in anticipation that Syria would be blamed for this suspected chemical weapons attack and that Russia would be criticized for complicity. So Russia had countered this in anticipation, accusing some of the Western nations on the Security Council, namely the US, UK and France, of speculating that Russia and Syria were to blame and for prejudging before investigations conclude. Now, as for the other members of the Security Council, they wanted unity in condemning this suspected poison gas attack, and they also wanted unrestricted access for a fact-finding mission by the Prohibition for the, or rather the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the OPCW, which just launched an investigation into the incident. And they also want to reestablish what's known as a joint investigative mechanism to look into reports of chemical weapons attacks, to determine who were behind them and also to bring them to justice. But what this really turned out was another meeting of diplomats that spiraled into yet another war of words. Here's a glimpse of what played out.
Thank you, sir.
Russia could stop this senseless slaughter if it wanted, but it stands with the Assad regime and supports without any hesitation. What's the point of trying to shame such people? After all, no civilized government would have anything to do with Assad's murderous regime. Pictures of dead children mean little to governments like Russia, who expend their own resources to prop up Assad.
We call upon Western politicians to scale down their hawkish rhetoric, to meaningfully consider possible repercussions, to cease the reckless spillover of threats to global security.
Now, Russia did propose to let the OPCW investigate, saying that the organization can fly to Damascus immediately or as soon as tomorrow, where, and I quote, "The Syrian authorities and Russian troops will provide conditions to travel to the area of the alleged incident for them to familiarize themselves with the situation." Now, it's unclear, though, how receptive the rest of the Security Council would be to this offer, given the level of distrust and suspicion we saw play out.
Liling, you shared some of Nikki Haley's comments. She also said the lack of action has put the Council's credibility at stake. Did that change anything at all with this session? Will the Council act in any way?
I'm not optimistic. This meeting was one of the most contentious I've ever seen play out here on the Syria issue. Now, there is a draft resolution in play here being circulated in which some of the Security Council members are seeking to condemn this alleged chemical attack and also to provide access for inspectors and, as I mentioned earlier, also to reestablish that investigative process. But it's unclear how much traction this would have. Russia does not seem to be in any mood whatsoever for compromise. And as the Russian ambassador was leaving closed-door consultations about an hour ago, he said that the U.S. is walking a dangerous fine line, dangerous not just for Syria, but also for the world, and warned against the U.S. carrying out any type of attack on Syrian government forces.
Liling live for us in New York. Thanks so much.